Hello everybody. Say hi to everybody, Max. We are at the river. We're at a park. This is a park I used to go to every evening to look at the sunset. It sets right over the river here. And I think I'm just gonna let Max go. There's nobody here, so I'm not gonna worry about him. Yeah, it's nice to get out. It's like 43 degrees and the sun's shining, so it feels a lot warmer. It's just nice to get out. Look at Max, he's happy. Went to the store and got some stuff to make some minestrone. I'm gonna make pork chops tonight. I don't normally eat pork chops, but I kind of was in the mood for them, so I soak them in Worcestershire sauce and fry them up that way. And there's a barge. River's kind of dirty. Got a lot of stuff floating in it. I think it's high. Yeah, it's definitely high. See, there's no bank down there. I don't know if I can't tell if what you guys can see. So bright out here. There goes the barge. Man, that'd be a nice job, you know what? Just working on a barge, pushing stuff around. They get paid well too. That'd be a nice, peaceful job. I knew a guy that did that, and he retired early. Did a good job, and they pay enough to where you can retire early. That makes it something. If I knew that, I might have, when I was younger, I might have went for my captain's license and done something like that. That is garlic. You're peeing on garlic, Max. Wild garlic. Here's the painting on the wall. Nice, huh? Whoever painted that is really good at it. Go walk over here and take a look. It's beautiful. I used to swing in these swings. Me and Mike, it's the same tree that was there when I was little. Exactly the same tree, Mike. Look at that. We would swing up and try to hit the branches. I love being at home. I just love it. It brings back such great memories. Even though I can't see my family, I mean, I'm here. Somehow it just makes it better. Want to swing, Max? He's busy. Are you stuck? What's going on, buddy? Are you stuck? Come this way. Still stuck, huh? Alrighty, come on. It's a nice slide. Guys, I might go down this slide. You want to go down the slide with me, Max? He will follow me up. Let's see if he will. Okay. Holy mackerel. Look, he's coming. Okay, come on, Max. There you go. Let's go down the slide, buddy. Come on, we gotta go. Let's go down the slide together. Whoa! This is a pretty neat view up here. Nice. Okay, guys, you ready to go down this tornado slide with me and Max? Come on, Max. Whoa! Holy mackerel! Whoa! There we go. Yay, that was fun. He's funny. He followed me anywhere. That's a high slide, too. Max, you're a nut. He doesn't care. It just doesn't faze him. Yeah. And on this swing, where I got my second kiss. My first kiss was in the backyard of my grandma's house where I live now. His name was Gerald. And I got my second kiss right here at this one. I don't know how old I was. Pretty young. Yeah. Alright, if there's time, I want to tell you guys about Dreyfus. I don't know how much time I have left. Okay, so Dreyfus, the perfect man. Shirley was always saying she wanted the perfect man. I was at some kind of store. I don't know what it was. Department store of some sort. And I saw this guy. He looked real. His hair looked real. His face looked real. His hands looked real. His body was stuffed. And his feet kind of looked real. You could put shoes on him and a suit. And he looked just like a man. So I bought him for Shirley. He was good looking, and he's a perfect man. He's not going to argue with you or fight with you. And the thing about it is, you're single. You can put him in your car, you know, for safety and whatever. But anyway, it was mostly a joke. So I was living in Chicago at the time, and I was going down to visit her anyway. So I put him in the passenger seat of my car, and I drove all the way down to Louisville, Kentucky, where she was living at the time. And he was in the passenger seat. I wanted to surprise her. I didn't want her to see him. So I pulled off the side of the interstate, guys, right along the edge of the interstate. I wasn't thinking. And obviously, I put my arms underneath him, like his head, and I put his arms underneath him, and I dragged him back to my trunk, and I laid him on the on the concrete or whatever, the highway there, you know, the edge of the highway. Took my luggage out, and I stuffed him in the trunk, and I put my luggage on top of him. And there were people were honking at me and yelling, "Hey, yeah, yeah," and like semis and stuff, and I didn't know what in the world they were doing. And then by the time I got to Shirley's, I had figured out what it actually looked like. Was I was stuffing a man in my trunk. It was evening, you know, like dusk, like in the sun setting, and he looked so real. I know people thought I was stuffing a man in my trunk. So anyway, so then I get to my sister's house, and I didn't expect her to come out and help me with my luggage. So we took my suitcase out, and there Dreyfus was, or she called him Dreyfus later. But his hair, it was a salt and pepper, you know, hair, and black and gray mixed. Looked real, but his face was stuffed down, facing, you know, into the trunk, so she couldn't see his face. And she goes, "Oh my gosh, you killed Tony. You did it. You killed him." And I said, "What are you talking about?" Well, my husband at the time, the Italian Tony, which was not nice to me. Probably many times I told Shirley I was going to kill him, jokingly, or maybe not. I don't know. I'm going to kill that man, probably, I said. And she thought that I had killed him and stuffed him in the trunk. And I said, "Shirley, no." And she was flipping out. And I said, "No, it's just," and I pulled his head up, and she even freaked out more. And we're in the parking lot of apartments, and she's screaming. But she's like trying to be quiet about it, but she's flipping out. And she goes, "What are we going to do? We got to bury him." And I'm like, "It's a dummy." She goes, "I know he was a dummy." And I'm like, "No, it's a dummy." And I pulled him out of the trunk, and I showed it that, and she was like, "Oh my gosh, what is that?" So I explained it to her that was her gift. That's the perfect man. And she liked him. She put him in her apartment, set him on the couch. And one time the maintenance guys came in, and they were fixing something, and they started talking to him, and he didn't talk back. And they just, I don't think they ever knew he was a dummy. They just left. But then one time Shirley had Mom and Dad over to visit. I wasn't living there at the time, but she told me these stories. She said that Mom and Dad had visited her for the weekend, and on Sunday morning she got up to make Mom and Dad breakfast. Dreyfus was sitting on the couch in a suit, whatever, sweater. She dressed him up, made him look real. And she was getting ready to make biscuits. She turned on the oven to like 375, I don't know, whatever. And the oven was smoking real bad because she stored her Tupperware in the oven, guys. All her plasticware was stored in the oven because her kitchen was small. And she had like a plastic fire. I think the oven was on fire. And so they called the fire department. And everybody ran out. She had this sliding glass door. And so everybody, Mom and Dad, her ran out the sliding glass door, and the door was open. Firemen came in. Well, it was so smoky in there, they saw Dreyfus, and they took him and they dragged him out to the lawn area where Mom and Dad and Shirley were. And by the time they got him down and turned him over, they realized he was a dummy. And she said they just looked at each other and went back in there and started working. They rescued Dreyfus. Yeah, and did Shirley, she's more worried about, those firemen are cute. I don't have my makeup on. She's flipping out because she wants to, flirt with the firemen, and she didn't have her makeup on, and her hair was a mess. She just got up, and that's all she was worried about, I remember. So yeah, and then also one other time, so she went to a party. I think might have been Mom and Dad's anniversary. I wasn't there. I was living too far away and didn't make it, but they had put him in the passenger seat of the car. Shirley did. When she went inside, she left him there in the car. And somebody else pulled up next to her, and Dreyfus had fell over, and his head was on the dashboard. Well, these people called 911, and the ambulance came to save Dreyfus. It was, I don't know, she can tell it better. She can tell the story much better. I was hoping that to get together with her and that she could tell you these stories because it's so much funnier coming from her. But oh my goodness, that's some of the Dreyfus stories that we've got for today, and I hope that I brought you guys a laugh. And I know that there's much more stories about him. He was a mess. Oh yeah, we took him out on New Year's Eve. Shirley wanted a date for New Year's Eve, and I was living with her at the time, and she said, "Why don't we take Dreyfus?" And I said, "Shirley, come on, we're going to a restaurant, we're going to a comedy club." No, we're going to take him. So we dressed him up in a suit and tie, made him look really good, and we took him into the restaurant. I don't know, everybody was looking at us. They thought he was like I don't know, one of those CPR dummy things. I don't know, but the lady, she goes, "Can I get him anything?" And I said, "Yeah, do you have a safety pin?" Because his arm fell off. And she brought me a safety pin. We ate dinner, and then we were waiting in line to get into the comedy club. And of course, Dreyfus is in between us with his arms around both of us. And remember, this is a dummy, but he looks real. And people were asking about him, and Shirley goes, "This is my date. He's my perfect man. He don't talk back," and all that stuff. She was having a ball. And then somehow we got the front row seat at a table up front. At the end of it, people came up to us and said, "We thank you. You guys made us laugh. You're really funny." They thought we were part of the comedy show. And we said, "No, we just came here." And this guy's our date. And I don't know. We did some crazy stuff, me and Shirley. But yeah, so there's probably more stories about Dreyfus. I think he ended up